I actually started off in the trades. I'm a welder by trade. So out of high school, went to trade school, worked in shipyards, traveled all over, and then I decided that we were going to move from my hometown, which is Mobile, Alabama, up to Atlanta. And when we came up here, I actually became a teacher for a short stint. I taught welding classes, and I was recruited over to Toyota to be a salesperson. So once I kind of got in that system and started to get the rush of sales, I ended up pivoting from car sales to tech sales. So I kind of want to take a step back and touch on something that you said in the icebreaker. I thought the icebreaker was phenomenal. It's so important about building your own brand and taking control of that, right? And putting yourself in a position to where you can have visibility. Visibility is the most important thing. If you're awesome at what you do and you got a great, product, or you have really good skills and stuff, if you don't have the visibility with management, how are they going to know that you are a valuable candidate for promotions and stuff like that? So I actually recruited myself, I like to say, into tech. I reached out to executives, cold email. One of them was kind enough to meet with me, and he sort of introduced me to all of the people I'm in their chain of command right now. So that's a little bit about like my background in terms of how I got into tech, and more specifically, I'm currently in SaaS sales right now. So I sell cybersecurity products, and that kind of leads me to why I'm doing what I'm doing with Security Plus and what my next step is going to be in my career.
Cool, cool. I think we might have a little bit of a lag, but we'll work through it.
Yeah.
We'll work through it. All right. So how long how long were you doing the sales for Toyota before transitioning into tech sales?
For about a year and a half. I did that for about a year and a half. COVID happened. I got laid off just like everybody else. And then from there, I actually took a ton of jobs in between. And then that's what led me to get into tech sales. So it's kind of one of those things where I stumbled into it. It wasn't my plan initially, but I really believe if you go out there and you search long enough, you'll get, the opportunities that, you're looking for. So
Shout out to my guy Magnetar.
what's up, Magnetar? What's up, brother?
Magnetar. Let me pull up his comment. Let me pull up. Magnetar says the cornballs are in this piece. Feds,
Cornballs
we
in
are
the
up.
building, man. Cornballs, we up, man.
I also got thank you for the $5 super chat, Magnetar. Always holding me down. We got my guy Rod Brown in the building. Says I don't see you. I'm kidding. Welcome, Rod Brown.
What's up,
Welcome,
Rod?
welcome. And my guy Magnetar says Sith Coach Ruff. I'm still working on the sounds. Magnetar. All right. Um, yeah. Can you the sound came on once the super chat came in. Can you finish like about how you got into from Toyota
Hmm.
car salesman to tech sales?
So there was a big gap in between that. When I got laid off during COVID, obviously the only skills I had at the time was customer service. So I went and worked at Walmart. Actually, I worked at Walmart, I worked at Carvana, and I worked at Wendy's. Yeah, I think Wendy's. So I was working those three jobs just trying to figure it out. And I took a small little course on LinkedIn learning about tech sales. That's why I was first kind of introduced to it. And then from there, I was doing all the things, putting in dozens of applications, wasn't hearing anything back. And what happened is it's funny. I interviewed for the role that I ultimately ended up getting twice. I didn't get picked the first time. In between that gap, so let's say if I interviewed around August, I believe it was August 2023, from August to March, I was doing all these different jobs, right? And then the recruiters were trying to get back in touch with me. So you know how have you ever received some of those emails that say like, "Hey, you applied for this position. We think you'll be good for this one." I'm thinking it's automated, Ralph. It was the recruiters trying to get in contact with me the whole time, trying to call me back for a second interview, and I was ignoring it. So I finally answered one of them, responded back, got into the interview cycle the second time. got hired on, and I'll say that immediately started to change my life because I went from making, $25,000, $30,000 to doubling that to like 60,000, which was the most I've ever made at the time. And that started to sort of build a foundation. So from there, I started off in small, medium-sized business, and then I ended up getting a promotion this past January in commercial. So that's what I'm working at right now. And then all the things that we're going to talk about I've been doing have set me up for another promotion coming up in January, which I'll be moving over to engineering. So that's kind of how all that came about.
Nice, nice. Now that's awesome. It's a wild story, but I'm sure a lot of us have like these type of stories where I would say something that's like we don't we're not brought up to think about all these different career opportunities that are out there.
Yeah.
So then it's like we end up stumbling into them. A lot of us don't, but but a lot of us, we end up stumbling into these careers because we just happen to be around certain people that, oh, like you said, like, oh, you saw something on LinkedIn about tech sales, so you took that, and like, oh, now look at
Hmm.
all the opportunities that it opened up. But a lot of times we don't really have the right people to tell us about it and go from there.
100%. I'll say, I mean, I'm from Mobile, Alabama, small town at the bottom of the map. We only had three outlets really. It was either work at we call it the shipyard, so working at the shipyard or working on the boat. I worked on the boat too. That's a seaman. So I traveled down to Louisiana. I would go out to the Gulf of Mexico, working on all rigs. I did all that type of thing. So I think the biggest thing, Ralph, I'll say, is my blue collar background gives me an edge in corporate America. I notice a lot
Definitely.
of people don't have the mental capacity that I have just based off of everything that I've been through. So the first thing I would tell people is your background, you may be ashamed of certain things. I know me, I don't have a degree, I don't have these things. So I'm around all these pretty smart people, but what I lack in book knowledge, I make up in tenfold when it comes to being committed, tenacity, resilience, all those different type of things that are intangibles that surprisingly a lot of managers are really looking for.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like, how are you able to figure things out? What's your critical thinking? How can you get things done? That like, because you can have all the book knowledge, but you can't figure things out, then it's gonna hold you back. So let me
100%.
ask you this question then. You mentioned that you're in this coming January, you're starting engineering role.
Yep.
So
So
yeah, go ahead.
I can kind of, all right. So I can lay it out like this. When I first got hired on, I knew that I wanted to pivot towards engineering, but obviously I didn't have any technical knowledge. I didn't have any certifications. So one of the first things I did was find out the available resources internally. So they kind of find out they paid for my Coursera subscription, for example. Prior to getting my Security Plus, I completed the Google Cybersecurity Certificate. I did that to sort of give me a foundation. And then I just started stacking on top of that. So I'll say I'm in line right now to become account executive too. And I think I reached out to you about this maybe a month or so ago, a
Hmm.
couple of months ago, when I was like, hey, I don't know what route to go because I built such a good name for myself within. Shout out to you guys, man. Appreciate you. But I built such a good name for myself within the sales org. I didn't really want to let that go. But simultaneously, I started building those relationships with the sales engineer leaders and stuff like that. So to make a long story short, I have an opportunity to do both, either solutions engineer slash sales engineer or become account executive. And I would still be in the cyber security, the SaaS sector. So
People walk in like a fleeting breeze. People go like a summer breeze. Whisper through my life, then vanish with ease. I ain't mind stuck replaying those fading tracks. Eyes on the road, no looking back. I don't care too much about who stays or leaves. Life's a wave I ride, no room for grief. What's ahead is gold, what's gone is dust. Never lean too hard, never break that trust.
They say you need roots, but I'm chasing skies. I'll plant my feet when the moment's right. I'm a rolling stone, not a chain to bind. Freedom in my veins is the state of mind.
They come with words like they mean forever, but forever's just a fleeting endeavor. I won't lean on what I can't control. I'm whole on my own, I keep my soul. I don't care too much about who stays or leaves. Life's a wave I ride, no room for grief. What's ahead is gold, what's gone is dust. Never lean too hard, never break that trust.
Dependency's a prison I won't call home. No one knows my journey, I'm on my own. Forward is the anthem, the beat I drum. The past is a shadow, the future's the sun.
I've seen faces fade like mist at dawn. Memories linger, but the moment's gone. I'm not bitter, just wiser with time. Each goodbye's a lesson that sharpens my mind.
Waves will crash and tides will shift. I'm the captain steering through the rift. No anchors here, I sail to the new. The horizon's bright with a better view.
I don't care too much about who stays or leaves. Life's a wave I ride, no room for grief. What's ahead is gold, what's gone is dust. Never lean too hard, never break that trust.
The ones who stay are the real foundation. Others just lessons in life's rotation. I'm not bitter, I just understand. The future's my treasure, it's in my hands.